Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today's Friday, November 10th, 2023. Today we're going to recap everything from yesterday, look at everything going on tonight and the weekend, news and notes, and best bet Fab 5. We'll start with Thursday Night Football. It was an ugly game as we predicted and thought. The over did not come through. The Bears pushed as they come away with a 16-13 victory over the Panthers. We just have to get right into Sunday because we just have so much to do in such small time. All right, we'll begin in Foxborough where the Patriots host... it's not in Foxborough. It's in Germany. Oh my God, that's how you know. That's how you know it's been a long week. All right. Colts 2.5, total 47 and 7/10. And it's Colts by 1.5, total 43.5. I'm taking the over. Next up, the Bengals host the Texans, in which should be a fun game. I project Cincinnati by 4.5, total 40 and 17/20, and it is 6.5 and 46.5. I'm taking the under. The Bengals have some banged up wide receivers. I mean, the Texans are an appealing side too, but I have a larger edge on the under. And the Texans' defense stinks, but the Bengals' defense is very good, and the Texans have a ton of injuries, too. Saints-Vikings. That game's on Fox. My projection is Saints 2.5. Total of 42 and a 10th, and it is 3 and 40.5. Slight over. Next up, Packers-Steelers. The game is on CBS. I believe this is the Nance Romo game, which is stupid. It's based on, past history. That's like Patriots-Giants getting Nance and Romo. That's what that's like. Except one team is good and the other three teams are not. And the good team is the Steelers. I project them giving 6.5 total, 39 and 19/20, and it's 3 and 38.5. I have to lay it with Pittsburgh. Green Bay is not good. Jordan Love is awful. I'm laying the points. Titans-Bucks on CBS. My line's Bucks 2.5, total 38 and 3/10, and it's 1.5 and 38.5. Very close. This is the rat line of the week. Slight lean Bucks, because everybody with Tennessee would be favored. Browns-Ravens on Fox. This is the game of the early window, although there's another one you can argue too. My projections: Ravens 8.5, total 42 and a 10th, and it is 6.5 and 38.5. I'm gonna take the over. I think this is a pretty high scoring game. And then you could argue this could be the marquee game: 49ers-Jaguars. Now the question is, where is Burkhardt and Olsen? They have two. Oh wait, no, they're gonna be, unfortunately, in Dallas. Where they shouldn't be. But they should be at one of these games. But my projections: Jaguars 5.5, total 44 and a 5th, and San Francisco I know is favored. They're giving 3 totals 45.5. I'm taking the Jags plus the 3 plus 140. This reminds me of a different game, which I'll get to later. This reminds me a lot of a game from a couple years ago where it's perception against reality. Next up, into the 4 o'clock window, Falcons-Cardinals on CBS. My line is Falcons 1.5, total 40 and 19/20. And it's 1.5 and 43.5. Very close. I like the under. I don't feel good about it because Kyler's back in this game. Lions-Chargers. I project Lions by 2, total 47 and 7/20. And it's 3 and 48.5. Slight under. 4:25 on Fox. This is the Burkhardt Olsen game because it's nepotism towards the NFC East and the Cowboys, and a rivalry that has been lopsided over the past decade. Giants-Cowboys. My projections: Cowboys 14 total, 39 and 3/5, and 17.5 and 39.5. I'm going to take the Giants to cover, but I think it just might be like a backdoor situation where the Giants lose by 16 or something like that. Like, the Cowboys give up a cheap touchdown or a cheap field goal at the end of the game. That's my kind of guess. But Burkhardt and Olsen should not be calling this game. It's nepotism towards the Cowboys. That's what it is. And the Giants, for that matter, even though they're 2-7. Commanders Seahawks. My line Seahawks 5.5 total 45 and 2/5. And it's 6.5 and 44.5. Slight lean to the Commanders. And Sunday Night Football on NBC. Jets Raiders. My line's Raiders 4.5 total 37 and 4/5, and it's Jets by 1 total 36.5. Woo! Give me Vegas plus the 1 and oh wait, it's a pick'em. It's essentially a pick'em. So Raiders plus 1 and minus 112 straight up. Okay, now we'll move on to college football. We'll go over the results from last night and look ahead to everything going on this weekend. What we are going to do is rapid fire as rapid fire can get with college football. Yesterday's results: number 11 Louisville over Virginia 31-24, and Southern Miss over Louisiana 34-31 in overtime. All right, tonight 2 games, 9 o'clock on ESPN2, North Texas SMU. My line's SMU by 14, total 63 and 7/10. And it is 17.5 and 66.5. I'm going to take North Texas getting the points. 10:45 Fox Sports 1, Wyoming UNLV. I have UNLV 3.5, total 55 and 11/20. And it's 3.5 and 50.5 over. All right, Saturday. The game of the weekend. 12 o'clock on Fox. Big news there. Game day probably too. Number 3 Michigan. Number 10 Penn State. I project the pick'em and 49 and 3/4. And it is Michigan 4.5, total 45.5. I'm taking Penn State getting the 4.5 and plus 176. Karma's going to come to Michigan at some point, don't you think? ESPN, number 8 Alabama at Kentucky. I have Alabama by 4, total 51. And it's 10.5 and 46.5. I'm taking Kentucky getting the points. Letdown spot for Bama. Not saying Bama loses, but wouldn't be shocked if they lost. Texas Tech at number 16, Kansas on Fox Sports 1. I have Kansas by 7, total 59 and 7/10, and it is 3.5 and 62.5. I know the quarterback's not back yet for Kansas, but I'm going to lay the points. ESPN2, Tulsa at number 23, Tulane. I have Tulane by 18, total 53. And it is, let's see here, 23.5 and 53.5. I'm going to take Tulsa getting the points. Holy Cross Army, CBS Sports Network. I have Army 3, total 55 and 19/20. Indiana, Illinois, Big Ten Network. I have Illinois 7.5, total 47 and 3/4. And it is 6.5 and 44.5. Over. On Peacock, Maryland, Nebraska. I have Nebraska by half, total 46 and 3/5. And it's Maryland 2.5, total 43.5. So that's a hard one, but I'm going to take the over. SEC Network, Vandy, South Carolina. I have South Carolina 6.5, total 58 and 1/10. And it's 13.5 and 57.5. I'm taking Vandy getting the 13.5. That's a lot of points. South Carolina has a lot of injuries. Vatech, BC. I have BC by 7, total 50 and 9/20. And it's Virginia Tech by 1.5, total 49.5. Woo, wrong team's favor. Give me BC plus 1.5 and minus 1 or 2 outright. Next up is Georgia Tech Clemson on ABC. Why is Clemson on ABC? I don't know. Nepotism. Clemson by 5, total 56 and 3/4, and it's 14.5 and 55.5. I'm taking Georgia Tech getting the points. Temple, South Florida. My line is South Florida by 5, total 61 and 9/10. And we have 7.5 and 69.5. Under. Very under. 1 o'clock, Old Dominion, Liberty. I have Liberty 13.5, total 55 and 4/5. And it's 13.5 and 59.5. Under. UConn, James Madison at 2 o'clock. Mine's James Madison by 24, total 51 and 13/20. And it's 24.5 and 48.5. Over. Number 21, Arizona at Colorado on the Pac-12 Network. Good on Arizona for making the college football playoff rankings. My line is Arizona 2.5 or 3.5, total 57 and 3/5. And it's 10.5 and 54.5. I'm going to take Colorado plus the points. It's the welcome to the rankings, but beware your opponent kind of deal. NC State, Wake Forest. I have NC State by 3.5, total 46 and 1/20. And it's 2.5 and 42.5. Over. Memphis, Charlotte. I have Memphis by 9, total 54 and 7/20. And it's 9.5 and 51.5. Over. App State, Georgia State. My line's Georgia State by 6, total 59 and 3/20. And it's 2.5 and 61.5. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with Georgia State. Troy, Yale, Monroe. I have Troy by 11, total 47 and 1/20. And it's 21.5 and 46.5. I'm taking Yale, Monroe getting all the points. That's a lot of points. 3 o'clock, Baylor at number 25, Kansas State. I have Kansas State by 13.5, total 53 and 1/4. And it's 21.5 and 54.5. That's a lot of points. Give me Baylor to cover. Next up, Sam Houston and Louisiana Tech. My line's Tech by 11, total 50 and 1/4. And it's 7.5 and 48.5. I'm going to lay to 7.5 with Louisiana Tech. Nevada, Utah State. I have Utah State by 9, total 58 and 7/10. And it's 15.5 and 56.5. That's a lot of points. Give me Nevada to cover. On ABC at 3:30, Miami at number 4, Florida State. I have Florida State by 12, total 54 and 7/20. And it's 13.5 and 50.5. I'm going to take the over in that game. Next up is a decent game. Number 18, Utah at number 5, Washington on Fox. My line is Washington 14.5, total 52 and 4/5. And it is 8.5 and 49.5. I'm going to lay 8.5 with Washington. That's low. A good one on CBS. Number 13, Tennessee at number 14, Missouri. A really interesting game. Mine's Missouri by 5, total 54 and 4/5. And it's Tennessee 1.5, total 57.5. Give me Missouri plus the points and plus 105 outright. On ESPN, number 15, Oklahoma State at UCF. So Oklahoma State made a massive leap in the playoff rankings with the Bedlam win. I projected by 2.5, total 58 and 3/5. And it's 2.5 and 65.5. I'm going to take the under in that game. Big Ten Network, Rutgers at number 22, Iowa. So Iowa's now in the college football playoff rankings. We didn't have time to go over them on Wednesday's show. It's been so busy. I project Iowa by 6, total 38 and 2/5. And it's Iowa only by 1. Total 28.5. Woo! Talk about rat line and rat total. Over. I mean, if Rutgers gets this win, that's humongous for that school. Florida International, Middle Tennessee. I have FIU by 2, total 51 and a 10th. And it's middle by 10.5, total 52.5. That's way too many points. Give me Florida International plus the points and plus 340 outright. NBC, Minnesota, Purdue. I have Minnesota by 8, total 48.5. And why is Purdue freaking favored? And 47.5. 1.5. Give me Minnesota plus the 1.5 and minus 105 outright. Ridiculous that they're favored. Fox Sports 1, Northwestern, Wisconsin. I have Wisconsin 8.5, total 43.5, and it's 10.5 and 42.5. I'm gonna take Northwestern getting the points. Next up is New Mexico State, Western Kentucky. I have New Mexico State by 1.5, total 52 and a 5th. And Western Kentucky is actually favored in this game by 4.5, total 55.5. Give me New Mexico State plus the 4.5 and plus 172 outright. Pitt, Syracuse. I have Syracuse by 4, total 48 and 2/5. And it's Pitt by 3, total 37.5. That's ridiculous. But I'm going to take the over. That's a low total, too. UAB, Navy. I have Navy 4.5, total 55 and 3/10. And it is UAB 2.5, total 53.5. Wait a second. How is that my projection for that game? Yeah. Wow. That's correct. Giving Navy plus the 2.5 and plus 114 outright. Texas State, Coastal Carolina. Texas State, I have by a half, total 55 or 57 and 7/10. Coastal Carolina has a ton of injuries right now. Texas State's favored by 2.5, total 57.5. I'm going to take Coastal getting the 2.5. I don't know if they'll win. SEC Network, 4 o'clock, Auburn, Arkansas. I have Auburn by a half, total 50 and 11/20. And it is Arkansas by 2.5, total 47.5. Over. Next up, ESPN 2, Wazoo, Cal. I have Pick'em in 62 3/4. And it is Cal 1.5, total 59.5. Over. East Carolina, FAU. My line's FAU 9.5, total 48 and a 10th. And it's 7.5 and 44.5. Over. Arkansas State, South Alabama at 5. My line is South Alabama by a half, total 54 and 13/20. And it is 13.5 and 55.5. Woof. Give me Arkansas State plus is 13.5, and they can win outright too. That's plus 420. South Alabama's been disappointing this year. 5:30 Pac-12 Network. Stanford at number 12, Oregon State. So Oregon State moves up. Oregon State I have giving 14.5, total 55 and 3/4. And it's 20.5 and 54.5. I'm going to lay the, or I'm sorry, not lay the points. I'm going to take Stanford getting the points. Stanford's been frisky lately. Some of these upsets and near upsets. 7 o'clock on ESPN. Number 9, Ole Miss. Number 2, Georgia. Very fascinating game. My line is Georgia only by 3, total 58 and a 10th. Georgia has a ton of injuries. And it's 10.5 and 58.5. I'm going to take Ole Miss getting the points. Ole Miss is going to come close to winning this game outright. West Virginia at number 17, Oklahoma. So Oklahoma drops all the way to 17 after the Bedlam loss. My projections, Oklahoma 7.5, total 57 and 7/10. And it's 13.5 and 57.5. I'm taking West Virginia getting the points to cover. Cincinnati, Houston. My line is Houston 8.5, total 55 and a 10th. Or a 5th. And it's 2.5 and 53.5. I'm going to lay the 2.5 at Houston. NFL Network, Georgia Southern, Marshall. I have Georgia Southern by 3, total 55 and 11/20. Or 9/20. I read that wrong. And it's 2.5 for Georgia Southern, 57.5. Under. San Diego State, Colorado State on CBS Sports Network. I have Colorado State by a half, total 53 and 11/20. And it's 3.5 and 46.5. Over. 7:30 NBC, number 1, Ohio State is hosting Michigan State. I have Ohio State by 21.5, total 44 and 3/20. And it is 31.5 and 47.5. I'm going to take Michigan State to cover. On ABC, number 7, Texas at TCU, I have Texas 4.5, total 52 and 7/10. And it's 12.5 and 54.5. I'm taking TCU plus the point. No Quinn Ewers on the road. That's problematic. SEC Network, Florida, number 19, LSU. My line is LSU 5.5, total 63.5. And it is 14.5 and 66.5. I'm going to take Florida to cover. Miss State and A&M on ESPN2. I have A&M by 6, total 51 and 3/20, and it's 16.5 and 42.5. I don't get the obsession with Texas A&M. What have they done that's so special? They get treated like they're Alabama in its heyday in Georgia. Give me Mississippi State getting the points to cover. ESPNU, Rice, UTSA. I have UTSA by 7.5, total 59 and 7/20, and it's 14.5 and 58.5. I'm actually going against UTSA, a team that I was on in the start of the year to give out. I'm taking Rice to cover. ACC Network at 8 o'clock. Duke at number 24, North Carolina. So North Carolina's back in the college football playoff rankings, but do they deserve it is the question. I'm going to say no because they lost to Virginia. I have North Carolina minus 12, total 51 and 9/10. And it's 14 and 50.5. I'm going to take Duke getting the 14. Even without the quarterback. Arizona State, UCLA, 9 o'clock on the Pac-12 Network. So UCLA is out of the college football playoff rankings. I have UCLA by 18.5, total 46 and a 5th. And it's 17.5 and 44.5. Slight over. 10 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, New Mexico, Boise State. I have Boise by 6, total 60 and 4/5. And it's a whopping 26.5 and 6.5. Give me New Mexico to cover. That's a big number. Boise State's not the Boise State of old. That's ridiculous. Iowa State, BYU, 10:15 on ESPN. I have Iowa State as a 3.5-point dog, total 47 and a 10th, or 20th, and it's Iowa State's actually a 9.5-point favorite, total 41.5. Give me BYU plus a 9.5 and plus 290 outright. All right, USC at number 6, Oregon on Fox at 10:30. So USC out of the college football playoff rankings, and deservingly so. I have Oregon by 4, total 71 and 7/10, and it's 14.5 and 74.5. I'm going to take SC to cover because Caleb will make some plays. CBS Sports Network, Fresno, San Jose State. My line's Fresno by 9, total 58 in the 20th, and it's San Jose State 1.5, total 50. These lines are out of whack this week. Give me Fresno plus 1.5 and even money outright. And last but not least, at 11 o'clock, Air Force, Hawaii. Air Force is out of the rankings because they lost to Army as a big favorite. I have Air Force 16.5, total 50 in the 20th, and it's 19.5 and 48.5. I'm going to take Hawaii to cover. All right, now I'll move on to college basketball. We're going to rapid fire this. We'll go over the results and then look ahead to tonight and the weekend. Number 20, Baylor over John Brown, 96-70. UC Davis over Pepperdine, 79-78. Morgan State over Shawnee, Pennsylvania, 152. Number 4, Michigan State over Southern Indiana, 74-51. Tarleton over FIU, 82-65. Robert Morris over Point Park, 66-56. Tulane over Northwestern State, 88-71. Norfolk over Apprentice, 90-56. Green Bay over St. Fran, Illinois, 72-56. William & Mary over American, 75-56. Presbyterian over Columbia International, 158. Hampton over Mid-Atlantic, 109-46. NC Central over Volnisburg, 107-54. Wagner over Malloy, 83-48. Elan over East Tennessee State, 79-76. Purdue Fort Wayne over Andrews University, 130-34. Wow, they lost beaten by 100. Stonehill over Army, 57-44. North Florida over Charleston Southern, 81-70. Merrimack over Worcester State, 93-72. South Florida over SC State, 96-52. Rhode Island over Fairfield, 93-80. VMI over Christendom, 87-53. James Madison over Kent State, 113-108 in double overtime. That was a fabulous game. Georgia Tech over Howard, 88-85. Utah Valley over Sam Houston, 79-73 in overtime. Wichita State over Western Kentucky, 71-61. Arkansas Pine Bluff over Champion Christian, 116-73. Evansville over UHSP, 116-46. Mercer over Chicago State, 66-61. Tennessee State over Kentucky State, 83-58. Middle Tennessee over Stephen F. Lawson, 67-62 in overtime. Towson over Coppin State, 70-49. North Alabama over Alabama A&M, 83-67. SMU over Lamar, 78-67. TCU over Omaha, 82-60. Iowa State over Lindenwood, 102-47. Nebraska over Florida A&M, 81-54. SIU Edwardsville over Norfolk, 92-67. Southern Utah over Life Pacific, 108-73. Number 21 USC over Bakersfield, 85-59. UTEP over University Science, 123-72. Denver over Cal Poly, 97-76. Cal State Northridge over Idaho, 76-73. Number 23 St. Mary's over New Mexico, 72-58. Portland State over Santa Barbara, 82-76. San Francisco over State for MPA, 84-52. San Jose State over Bethesda, 117-72. And Washington over Northern Kentucky, 75-67. All right, today, 1 o'clock, Air Force LIU. I have Air Force by 3. And it is 6.5 and 130.5. I'm going to take LIU getting the points. 4 o'clock, Central Con Quinnipiac. I have Quinnipiac by 15 at 7.5, 145.5. I'll lay the points. 4:30, Charlotte Liberty from Spectrum Center. My projection is I have to change it on the spot. Liberty 13.5 because of it being in Charlotte. And it's only 4.5 and 129.5. I'm still laying it with Liberty. College of Biblical Studies and McNeese we could skip. 6 o'clock, Kennesaw State, Florida State. I have Florida State only by 3.5. And it's 10.5 and 154.5. I'm going to take the points with Kennesaw. UMass Lowell, Dartmouth. I have Lowell by 7.5, and it's 4.5 and 147.5. I'll lay the points. Charleston, Decatur at Veterans Classic on CBS Sports Network. I have Duquesne by 6, and it's Charleston 1.5, total 155.5. I'll take Duquesne plus the points. Fox Sports 1, Lemoyne at number 22, Villanova. I have Villanova by a whopping 51. It's 43.5 and 147.5. I'll lay the points. St. Joe's, LI, Stony Brook, we can skip. 6:30 Big Ten Eric, Youngstown State, Michigan. I have Michigan only by 19. And it's actually 19.5. Total is... Oh, no, it's 16.5. Total is 152.5. So I'm going to actually lay points with Michigan. Fox Sports 2, Jacksonville, Xavier. I have Xavier 28.5. And it's 50.5. Total 138.5. I'm laying the points. Penn St. Joe's. I have St. Joe's 18. And it's 6.5 and 149.5. I'm going to lay the points at St. Joe's. The game of the night on ESPN 2 from Cameron Indoor. Number 12, Arizona. Number 2, Duke. I have Duke by 1. And I know Duke's a bigger favorite than that. It's like 5.5. Yes. And 154.5. I'll take Zona to cover. Maybe they went outright. It's plus 195. Morehead State, number 3, Purdue. I have Purdue 23.5. And it's 29.5 and 138.5. I'm going to take Morehead to cover, actually. UCF at number 13, Miami. I have Miami by 25. And it is 9.5 and 144.5. I'll lay the points. Here's a good one. Number 15, Texas A&M at Ohio State on Peacock. I have A&M by 4, but Ohio State's giving 1.5. Totals 138.5. I'm taking A&M plus the points and plus 102 outright. A&M Commerce at number 16, Kentucky. I have Kentucky by 35. And it's 26.5 and 142.5. I'll lay the points. Wilberforce, Eastern Kentucky, we can skip. BU Rutgers. I have Rutgers by 16. And Rutgers is giving more than that. Looks like it's 22.5. Total's 129.5. I'll take BU getting the points. Chattanooga, Louisville. My line is Louisville 2.5. And it's 3.5 and 150.5. I'm going to take the under. SC Upstate, Vandy. I have Vandy by 10, and it's 11.5, 145.5 over. Ave Maria, Florida Gulf Coast, we can skip. BC Citadel, I have BC 23.5 on the road. And it is... I don't see that line up here, guys. There it is. 9.5 and 139.5. I laid the points of BC. Troy, Oregon State, Pac-12 Network. I have Oregon State 14.5. And it is 7.5 and 136.5. I laid the points. Austin P, George Mason. I have George Mason by 10. And it is 6.5 and 135.5. I'll lay the points. Princeton Hofstra. I have Hofstra by 4, and it's 1.5 and 145.5. I'm going to lay the 1.5 with Hofstra. Letdown spot for Princeton after the win over Rutgers. Maryland Davidson from Harris Cherokee Center in Nashville. I have Maryland by 23. And it's only 10.5. Total 135.5. I'm going to lay the points at Maryland. Detroit Cincinnati. I have Cincy by 31. And it's 24.5 and 146.5. I'll lay the points. Abilene Christian NC State. I have NC State by 13. And it's 10.5 and 146.5. I'll lay the points. Marshall Radford. I have Radford by 12. Oh, this is a neutral too. Marshall Radford. This is at the Greenbrier in West Virginia. Which is wild. So I have to do some adjusting here. Now my line's Radford 9. I know Marshall's favored because it's in West Virginia. Total's 147.5. I'm going to take Radford plus the points plus 140 outright. NCAT UNC Greensboro. I have Greensboro by 23. And it's 21.5. Total's 136.5. I'm going to take the over. Wake, Georgia from Athens. My line is Wake by 5, and it's on SEC Network. And it's Georgia 1.5, total 154.5. Give me Wake plus the points and plus 108 outright. Sacrament, Iona. I have Iona by 5. And it's 9.5, 150.5. I'll take Sacrament and the points. Sanford, VCU. I have VCU by 17. And it's 4.5 and 149.5. I'll lay it with VCU. It's a bounce back spot for them. Belmont, Furman. I have Furman 15.5. And it's 6.5, 160.5. I'll lay the points with Furman. Monmouth, West Virginia. I have West Virginia by a whopping 33. I don't think the line is out for this game in Morgantown. But I'm sure West Virginia will be favored. From Spectrum Center in Charlotte, Virginia, Florida. On the ACC Network Hall of Fame Series, I have Virginia by 9. And it is 1.5 and 135, and I'm going to lay it with Virginia on the road. Trinity, Florida, Bethune-Cookman, Community Skip, Binghamton, Pitt. I have Pitt by 27.5. And it is 18.5 and 144.5. I'll lay the points. Southern Miss, Akron. I have Akron by 7. And it's 7.5 and 138.5. I'll take the over. Lehigh, Penn State. I have Penn State only by 2. And it is Penn State by 17.5 total. 147.5. I'll take Lehigh getting the points. Now we're in the 7:30 slot. Peacock, UTSA, Minnesota. I have Minnesota by 20, and it's 12.5, 146.5. I'll lay the points. Hendrick College and Central Arkansas, we can skip. 8 o'clock, number 1, Kansas hosting Manhattan. I have Kansas by a whopping 45, and it's 35.5, 141.5. I'll lay the points with Kansas. Gardner-Webb against number 14, Arkansas. The crazy thing is I can't find the projection for this game. All right, Arkansas 27, and it is 25.5 and 143.5. I'll take the over. All right, next up, Indiana State at number 24, Alabama. I have Bama by 18. And it's 17.5 and 161.5. That's too high of a total. I'm going to take the under. Oakland at number 25, Illinois. I have Illinois by 32. And it's 23.5 and 150.5. I'll lay the points at Illinois. Alabama State, Iowa on Peacock. I have Iowa by 27. And it's 32.5 and 160.5. I'll take Bama State plus the points. Texas Rio Grande against South Dakota. I have South Dakota by 7. And it's 1.5 and 151.5. I'll lay the points. Bellarmine, Kansas State. I have Kansas State by 27.5 and 16.5 and 143.5. I'll lay the points. Mid-American Christian, Oral Roberts, we can skip. Grambling, Colorado. I have Colorado by 29. And it's 22.5 total 136.5. I'll lay the points. Tennessee Tech, Murray State. I have a pick'em. And it is Murray State by 12.5 total 141.5. Give me Tech plus the points and plus 710 outright. Oof. I think that's an upset. Eastern Michigan, Ole Miss. I have Ole Miss by 9.5. And it is 14.5 and 143.5. I'll take the points. Nichols, LSU. I have 8.5 for LSU, and it's 20.5 and 146.5. I'll take Nichols in the points. Miss Valley State, Oklahoma. I have 42 for Oklahoma. That's a big number. And it's 36.5 and 141.5. I'll lay with Oklahoma. Southeast Louisiana and Auburn. I have Auburn 11.5. And it is 23.5 and 153.5. I'm going to take Southeast Louisiana to cover. Queens, Southern Illinois. I have Queens by 5.5. And it's Southern Illinois by 6.5 total 140.5. Give me Queens plus the points and plus 245 outright. Harvard, Rice. I have Rice by 10. And it's 7.5 and 145.5. I'll lay it with Rice. 8:30 Fox Sports 1 Rider at number 5 Marquette. I have Marquette by 21. And it's 24.5 total 147.5. I'll take Rider to cover. Idaho State, St. Thomas. I have St. Thomas by 3. And it's 5.5 and 136.5. I'll take Idaho State to cover. Temple Navy Veterans Classic, CBS Sports Network. I have Temple by 1. And it's 6.5 total 139.5. I'll take Navy getting the points at home. Fox Sports 2, Southeast Missouri State Butler. I have Butler by 24. And it's 19.5 total 147.5. I'll lay it with Butler. Little Rock UIC. I have UIC as a 17-point dog. And they're giving 5.5 total 148.5. That's ridiculous. Give me Little Rock plus the points and plus 98 outright. Next up, Dayton Northwestern on the Big Ten Network. I have Dayton by 4, and I know Northwestern's favored. It's 4.5 and 126.5. Give me Dayton plus the points and plus 176 outright. On Peacock at 9 o'clock, number 9, Tennessee at Wisconsin. I have Tennessee by 4. And it is 2.5 and 132.5. I'm going to take, I don't know, over, but I don't feel good about it. All right, Yale at number 11, Gonzaga. I have Gonzaga 18.5. And it's 11.5 and 154.5. I'll lay it with Gonzaga against Yale. Number 17, San Diego State and BYU. I have San Diego State by 4.5. And it's BYU by 1.5, total 148.5. Give me San Diego State plus the points and plus 112 outright. Delaware State at number 18, Texas. I have Texas by 34 and 31.5, total 144.5. I'll lay the points. Montana, Oregon, Pac-12 Network. I have Oregon by 17 and 16.5, 140.5 over. IUPUI, Valpo. I have IUPUI by 9.5. I know Valpo's favored. Yeah, 3.5 total, 144.5. I will take IAPUI plus the points and plus 138 outright. Sac State, Stanford. I have Stanford 23.5. And it's 16.5 and 140.5. I'll lay it with Stanford. Wright State, Colorado State. I have Colorado State by 7. And it's 10.5 total, 156.5. I'll take Wright State in the points. Memphis, Mizzou on the SEC Network. I have Memphis by 3. And it's Missouri 2.5 total, 159.5. I'll take Memphis plus the points and plus 115 outright. Clemson, UAB from Asheville. I have Clemson by 9. Now we're in the 9:30 window, and it's 6.5 total, 144.5. I'll lay it with Clemson. From Charlotte, Vautech, South Carolina, on the ACC Network. I have Vautech by 5, and it's 5.5 total, 141.5. I'll take the over. 5 more guys. UC Riverside, Utah on 10 o'clock. I have Utah 29 and 16.5 total, 140.5. I'll lay the points. Jackson State, Cal Baptist. I have Jackson State by 5.5. Cal Baptist is giving 10.5 total, 142.5. Giving Jackson State plus the points and plus 430 outright. Prairie View A&M and Wazoo. I have Wazoo 29.5 and it's 20.5 and 137.5. I'll lay the points. Lafayette, UCLA at 11 o'clock. Pac-12 Network. I have UCLA by a whopping 40 and it's 24.5 total, 127.5. I'll lay the points. And last but not least, Pacific Cal. I have Cal by 14 and it's 10.5 and 140.5. I'll also lay the points there. All right, Saturday, big window too. 11 a.m., Texas State, Miami of Ohio. 11:30, Loyola, Maryland, Brown. 12 o'clock, Fox Sports 2, Stonehill, number 6, UConn. High Point, Wofford. UM Monroe, Central Michigan. Georgia Southern, Eastern Michigan. Arkansas State, Bowling Green. 1 o'clock, Cornell, Fordham. William & Mary, George Washington. Georgia State, Western Michigan. 1:30, A&M, Corpus Christi at number 7, Houston. 2 o'clock, Fox Sports 2, North Dakota State, number 8, Creighton. Wilmington, Nashville. Campbell, East Carolina. Western Carolina, Notre Dame. South Alabama, Buffalo. Old Dominion, Ball State. St. Mary, Maryland, Longwood, 2:30. 3 o'clock, Incarnate Word, Tulsa. Cairn, Maryland, Eastern. Utah Tech, Jacksonville State. 3:30, Northeastern, LaSalle. Marist, UMBC. Texas Southern, Arizona State, 4 o'clock. St. Peter's, NJIT. Coppin State, Mount St. Mary's, Fairleigh Dickinson, Seton Hall, and Fox Sports 2. Canisius, St. Bonaventure. App State, Northern Illinois. 5 o'clock, Tennessee Martin, Mississippi State. Asbury, Lipscomb. Montana State, Seattle. Southern New Orleans and New Orleans. 5:30, Drexel, Winthrop. 6 o'clock, UT Tyler, UT Arlington. Ohio State, Cleveland State. Fox Sports 2, Milwaukee, Providence. 7 o'clock, Fresno State, Kent State. Platte State, Vermont. Stetson, UNLV. Bucknell, Niagara. Albany, Columbia. St. Fran, PA, Santa Clara. Louisiana, Toledo. 8 o'clock, Southwest Christian, Arkansas, Pine Bluff. UNT Dallas. Tarleton State. Siena, Richmond. Eastern Illinois, Loyola, Chicago. Utah State, Bradley. Omaha, North Texas. University St. Mary, Kansas City. Illinois State, St. Louis. Holy Cross, Georgetown at FS2. 9 o'clock, Cal Poly, Wyoming. 10 o'clock, New Mexico State, UC Irvine. Long Beach State, DePaul. San Diego, UC San Diego. And 10:30, La Sierra, Fullerton. And then Sunday is smaller. 12 o'clock, Penn State, Wilkes-Barre, Morgan State. Bryant, Rutgers. Eastern Washington, Cincinnati. 12:30, ESPN 2 is Asheville Championship. Game 1 o'clock, Air Force, Delaware. Idaho State, Iowa State. 2 o'clock, ACC Network, Lehigh, number 19, North Carolina. San Jose State, Tennessee Tech, or Texas Tech. Elon, North Dakota. A&M Commerce, Purdue, Fort Wayne. Friends, Wichita State. 3 o'clock, Sam Houston, Oklahoma State. And then Asheville Championship on ESPN 2. 4 o'clock, Carolina and SC Upstate. San Francisco, Boise State. Howard, James Madison. Mary McMain. Lafayette, Pepperdine. 4:30, Chicago State, Southern Illinois. St. Ambrose, Western Illinois. East, Minonte, Radford. 5 o'clock, Gardner-Webb, number 20, Baylor. North Central, St. Thomas. Linfield, Portland State. North Carolina Central, Georgia. UC Riverside, Portland. 5:30, Northern Arizona. Grand Canyon. 6 o'clock, Bard, Columbia. Yale, Loyola, Marymount. Keystone, Binghamton. Robert Morris, Towson at 7. Army, Indiana on Big Ten Network. 8 o'clock, Weber State, number 23, St. Mary's. 9 o'clock, UC Davis, Montana. And 10 o'clock, Nevada, Washington. All right, now move on to the NBA. We'll go over all the games from yesterday and look ahead to the games for the weekend. All right, so yesterday the Bucks lost to the Pacers. 126-124, and then the Hawks beat the Magic 120-119 in Mexico City. All right, We have in-season tournament group play tonight. 7 o'clock, Sixers Pistons. That is Group A. I have Sixers by 16, total 225 and 9/20. And it is 9.5 and 224.5. I'll lay the 9.5 with Philly. Hornets Wizards. That is Group B. I project Wiz by 4, total 242 and 4/5. And it's 3 and 240. I can't believe this, but I like the over. Nets Celtics on ESPN. That's Group C. I have Celtics by a whopping 24.5, total 229 and 7/10, and it's 12 and 227. I'm laying the 12 with the Celtics. 8 o'clock, Pelicans Rockets. That is in-season tournament Western Conference Group B. My projection is the Rockets by 1.5, total 221 and 9/20, and it is 3 and 219. I like the over. Jazz Grizzlies, that is Group A. In the West, I had my projection is Memphis by 3, total 227 and 17/20, and it's 5 and 229.5. I'm going to take the Jazz getting the 5. Wolves Spurs, that is, I believe, Group C. Yes. I have Wolves by 14, total 226 and a 20th. And a 6.5 and 224.5. I'm going to lay the 6.5 with the T-Wolves. 8:30 Clippers Mavs. I have Mavs 4.5, total 228 and 19/20, and it is 1 and 235. I'm going to lay the 1 with the Mavericks. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm going to take the under. That's a high total. And Clippers Mavs is Group B. All right, Lakers Suns, that's Group A. Right now, my projections, Lakers by 2, total 224 and 2/5. But if Anthony Davis doesn't play, it becomes Suns by 3.5. Right now, it is Suns 3.5, total 225. Where things stand right now, I'll take the Lakers getting the points. But if it's announced Davis isn't playing, that's an auto bet to the slight under. And last but not least, Thunder Kings. That is Group C also. I have Thunder by 6, total 231 and 19/20, and it is 1.5 and 231. I'm going to lay the 1.5 with the Thunder. All right, Saturday, 6 o'clock Bucks Magic, 7 o'clock Raptors Celtics, 7:30 Heat Hawks, 8:30 NBA TV Cavs Warriors. And then Sunday's a big day in the league. 12 noon Hornets Knicks, 3 o'clock Wizards Nets, 3:30 Grizz Clippers, 6 o'clock Pacers Sixers, 7 o'clock Pistons Bulls Nuggets Rockets Mavs Pelicans Spurs Heat from San Antonio. 8 o'clock Thunder Suns, 8:30 Wolves Warriors, and 10 o'clock Blazers Lakers. All right, now move on to the NHL. We'll rapid fire the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. Rangers over to Wild 4-1. Bruins over to Isles 5-2. Canucks over to Sens 5-2. Habs over to Red Wings 3-2 in OT. Blackhawks over to Lightning 5-3. Stars over to Jackets 5-2. Blues over to Coyotes 2-1. Jets over to Preds 6-3. Kraken over to Avs 4-3. Pens over to Kings 4-3 in OT. Sharks over to Oilers 3-2. So the Sharks get another win against the Oilers. 7 o'clock, you have the Wild and the Sabres from Buffalo. The Wild are on the second of a back-to-back. Sabres minus 122. Wild plus 102 over under 6.5. Overs minus 128. Unders plus 104. Wild plus 1.5 is minus 230. Sabres minus 1.5 is plus 188. For this one, I'm going to go with over 3.5 Sabre goals plus 104. Ballsy pick, I know. Flames Leafs. Leafs minus 156. Flames plus 130. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 140. Unders plus 114. Flames plus 1.5 is minus 172. Leafs minus 1.5 is plus 142. That's a tough one. But I'm going to go with the full game under, plus 114. Canes Panthers. Canes minus 137. Panthers plus 114. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Canes minus 1.5 is plus 184. Panthers plus 1.5 is minus 625. I like the over. Capitals Devils. Devils minus 182. Caps plus 150. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Caps plus 1.5 is minus 160. Devils minus 1.5 is plus 132. I like the over in that one too. If Vitek Vanacek starts, that's against his ex-team. 10 o'clock, Sharks, Golden Knights. Vegas minus 530, Sharks plus 390, over under 6.5, overs minus 1 quarter is minus 118. Sharks plus 1.5 is plus 155, Vegas minus 1.5 is minus 188. I like the over. And then Flyers, Ducks. Flyers minus 125, Ducks plus 104, over under 6.5, overs even money, unders minus 122. Flyers minus 1.5 is plus 190, Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 235. I'm going to take the Ducks in an upset, plus 104. The Flyers are overrated. Big slate Saturday, 1 o'clock. Blue Jackets, Red Wings, 3 o'clock, Stars, Jets, 7 o'clock, Canucks, Leafs, Bruins, Habs on NHL Network, Flames, Sens, Canes, Bolts, Sabres, Pens at 7:30, Caps, Isles, Coyotes, Preds, 9 o'clock, Blues, Avs, 10 o'clock, Oilers, Kraken, and 10:30, Flyers, Kings. And then Sunday, 1 o'clock, Blackhawks, Panthers, 6 o'clock, NHL Network, Stars, Wild, 7 o'clock, Blue Jackets, Rangers, Canucks, Habs, and 8 o'clock, Sharks, Ducks. All right, now move on to soccer. We have a lot to do for soccer. I apologize. I am not going to give out the picks except for MLS playoffs if necessary. All right, we have a lot of results from the conference and Europa Leagues. We have no time to do that either. All right. We'll start with MLS, actually. Tonight, 10 o'clock, Seattle, Dallas. Game 3. It's monstrous, as we know. Seattle minus 145, Dallas plus 380, draw plus 270. I'm going to go over 2.5 goals, plus 104. I think it's going to be a fun, high-scoring game. All right. Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, Houston, Salt Lake. Houston minus 165. Salt Lake 4-1. The draw is 3-1. That's a hard one. I'm gonna say that's a draw, 3-1. I think that Salt Lake can hang around. That's the 4-5. And at 7 o'clock on Sunday night, Columbus, Atlanta. Columbus minus 175, Atlanta plus 380, draw plus 360. I'm going to go under 3.5 goals, minus 110. All right, Premier League tomorrow, 7:30, Wolves, Tottenham, 10 o'clock, Arsenal, Burnley, Crystal Palace, Everton, Man United, Luton, 12:30, Bournemouth, Newcastle. Sunday, 9 o'clock, Aston Villa, Fulham, Brighton, Sheffield United, Liverpool, Brentford, West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and 11:30, Chelsea, Man City. And then the big one in women's for the title, 8 o'clock, the OL Reign against Gotham, New York City. That is going to be some game. Seattle plus 130, Gotham plus 220, the draws plus 220. Just being at home, I think Seattle is probably the better roster. Gotham's on a great run. Very proud of them representing this area. But I have to take Seattle at home at plus money, plus 130 to win the National Women's Soccer League Championship. All right, Mexican Liga. 8 o'clock, Atlas Necaxa tonight. Mazatlán Toluca, 10 o'clock, Tijuana Pachuca. Saturday, 6 o'clock, Athletic San Luis Santos, Querétaro Monterrey. 8 o'clock, UNAM Guadalajara, and 10 o'clock, Tigres America. And then Sunday, 7 o'clock, Cruz Azul Puebla, and 9 o'clock, León and Juarez. German Bundesliga, today, 2:30, Gladbach Wolfsburg. Tomorrow, 9:30, Bayern Heidenheim, Augsburg Hoffenheim, Darmstadt Mainz, Stuttgart Dortmund, and 12:30, Bochum Cologne. And that's Sunday, 9:30, Leverkusen Union Berlin, 11:30, Bremen Frankfurt, and then 1:30, RP Leipzig and Freiburg. La Liga, today at 3 o'clock, Athletic Celta Vigo. And then tomorrow, 8 a.m., Rayo Girona, 10:15, Almeria Real Sociedad, 12:30, Getafe hosting Granada. And then Osasuna Las Palmas, and 3 o'clock, Real Madrid and Valencia. And then Sunday, 10:15, Barcelona Alaves, 12:30, Sevilla Betis. And then 3 o'clock, Atletico Villarreal. And it looks like there's no international soccer in the regular leagues until after Thanksgiving. Serie A, 12:30 Sassuolo Salernitana, and 2:45 Genoa Verona. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock Lecce Milan, 12 o'clock Juventus Cagliari, 2:45 Monza Torino. And then Sunday, 6:30 Napoli Empoli, 9 o'clock Fiorentina Bologna, Udinese Atalanta, 12 o'clock Lazio AS Roma, and 2:45 Inter Milan and Frosinone. League One, today, 3 o'clock Montpellier and Nice. Saturday, Reims PSG, and 3 o'clock Le Havre Monaco. Sunday, 9 o'clock Clermont Lorient, Lille Toulouse, Metz Nantes, 11 o'clock Rennes Lyon, and 2:45 Lens and Marseille. Dutch Eredivisie. 2 o'clock today Fortuna and Heracles. Tomorrow, 12:45 RKC Waldwick and Go Ahead Eagles. 2 o'clock FC 20 NAC. 3 o'clock Vitesse and Heerenveen. And then Sunday, 6:15 PSV and PC Zwolle. 8:30 Almere City Ajax. FC Volendam Sparta. 10:45 Feyenoord AZ Alkmaar. 2 o'clock FC Utrecht and Excelsior. Next, we'll do the ELC. Today, 3 o'clock Blackburn Preston. And then tomorrow, 7:30 Sunderland Birmingham. At 7:30 10 o'clock Cardiff Norwich City. Coventry Stoke. Hull Huddersfield. Ipswich Swansea. Leeds Plymouth. Borough Leicester. QPR Bristol City. Sheffield Wednesday Millwall. Southampton West Brom. And Watford and Rotherham. And last but not least, USL. We have the championship at 7 o'clock on ESPN on Sunday night. Charleston and Phoenix. Charleston plus 130, Phoenix plus 185, the draws plus 230. Both these teams have been great all season long. Phoenix was the 6th seed. Charleston's the 3. But Charleston has a lesser goal differential than Phoenix. Phoenix has kind of gotten together. But I think this is going to be a draw. I think it's going to be close. So I'm going to go with the draw here, plus 230. I'm going to say Charlotte wins it at home. All right, now move on to golf. We will go over the current leaderboard for the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. Right now, the tie, 13 under, Ryan Moore, Sodi Kodiara. Third, 12 under, D8 points. We have to do notables. Tied for 4th with 11 under, Alex Ryan, Brendan Todd, Austin Smotherman, Kyle Westmoreland, Matthias Schmidt. Tied for 9th with 10 under, Austin Scott, Doc Redmond. Tied for 12th with 9 under, Taylor Pendrith, Mark Hubbard, DJ Tran, David Slipsky. Tied for 17th with 8 under, Vincent Whaley, Stuart Sink, Robert Brem, Dylan Wu, Charlie Hoffman, Scott Piercy, Ben Griffin, Russell Knox, Austin Cook, Brian Stewart, Kevin Roy. Tied for 31st with 7 under, Davis Riley, Kevin Chappell, Andrew Landry, Brandon Gay, Tyson Alexander, Dylan Lingworth. Tied for 40th with 6 under, Kelly Kraft, Nicholas Echeverria. Tied for 44th with 5 under, Tanner Gainey, Kramer Hickok, Justin Lauer, Austin Long, Peter Malnati, Andrew Novak, Kevin Stradler, Bryce Garnett, Ryan Moore, Joaquin Herman, Robert Streb, Kyle Stanley, Cam Percy, Alex Smalley. Tied for 62nd with 4 under, Nate Hardy, Ryan Palmer, Nate Watney, Matthias Schwab, Harry Hall, Ricky Barnes, Wesley Bryant. Tied for 72nd with 3 under, Pat Gazier, Luke Bliss, Chris Stroud, Sean O'Hare, Doug Gim. Tied for 85th with 2 under, Kevin Tway, Will McGirt, Hank Labiota, Troy Merritt, Henrik Norlander, Justin Bird, Dylan Fratelli, Augusto Nunes, Scott Brown, Brent Grant, Trevor Cohn, Trevor Werble. Tied for 102nd with 1 under, Matt Trainer, Lucas Glover, Max McGreevy, Ben Green, Scott Harrington, Harrison Endicott. Tied for 11th at even money, Bo Van Pelt, Jason Duffner, Richie Rensky, Michael Glidgick, MJ Daffé. Tied for 117th with 1 over, Thomas Dietrich, Jimmy Walker. Tied for 21st with 2 over, David Ernst. Tied for 126th with 4 over, Jonas Blix. 128th with 5 over, Harry Higgs. 129th with 6 over, Grayson Chalmers. And there you have it for the Bermuda Championship. All right, news and notes. We're going to be as quick as possible here. We are going to start with baseball. Yamamoto linked to both New York teams. That would be huge if one of those teams landed him. Yankees fielding Gleyber Torres offers as they should. He's an overrated player, like I've said on the podcast several times. The Silver Sluggers were announced. Shohei Ohtani and Ronald Acuna Jr. headline first. Headline the winners, and then the first ever team award, the Braves and the Rangers. That's pretty cool. Jason Kelce says the quarterback sneak nickname is Brotherly Shove. The Bills had a players only meeting after falling to 5-4. Josh Dobbs was blindsided by the trade, which doesn't surprise me. Nicholas Castellanos on the trade block. That's not surprising. Executives believe 10 out of 14. Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers. They do not need Shohei Ohtani. For crying out loud. Juan Soto likely a deadline trade. As Padres are listening, it's more likely that they wait until the July to deal him. I don't think that's the right thing. I think I would trade him in the offseason. There's going to be more suitors. 3 teams linked: the Pete Alonso, Cubs, Mariners, Giants. If the Mets trade him, which I don't think they will. T. Higgins doubtful for Sunday due to a hamstring. Justin Jefferson unsure on return, as he says it's improving but can't put a date on when he'll play. Tyler Harrow has an ankle sprain and he'll be in a boot for 10 days and reevaluated in 2 weeks. Cam Thomas out for 2 weeks with a left ankle sprain. Virginia running back Paris Jones left field on a stretcher after a hard collision against Louisville. Jim Harbaugh is facing a possible fine as he can receive a significant discipline in connection to sign stealing scandal. Of course, that doesn't surprise me. He's going to get fined. He'll be suspended, as we know. So there was an audio leaked in a college football lawsuit as recording of Lane Kiffin and DeSanto Rollins released amid Ole Miss discrimination case. Yikes, that's not great. Patrick Kane is hoping to narrow down his team list by next week to 3 to 4 teams. I think the Sabres are where he's going to land. And then Wink Martindale said that Xavier McKinney's remarks hurt as he responds to Xavier McKinney saying the players aren't feeling heard by the staff. Xavier McKinney really is not a good leader. They made him a captain, but he really hasn't said all the right things and whatnot. So a lot of turmoil going on with the Giants, let alone injuries. And it's a big reason why they're 2-7. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel, and then Fab 5 will be after. A lot of nominees for best bet. I'm only going to lay 1/10 of a unit on best bet. There's a lot of college basketball lines I liked tonight. There's an underdog that really jumped out to me that I think can cover, and that's Jackson State getting the 9.5 against Cal Baptist. I think Jackson State has a lot of talent, and they can absolutely win that game outright. All right, Fab 5, 1/10 a unit per pick, as we know. We'll begin with college football this week. College football Fab 5 a lot easier than the NFL Fab 5. So the first pick of the Fab 5, I'm going to take a team that has been spiky, but their opponents been disappointing. So Georgia Tech, I'm going to take getting the 14.5 at Clemson. I just don't like how Clemson's looked at all this season. So I'm going to take Georgia Tech plus the points for pick number 1. Pick number 2, I'm going back to the well. I'm betting against South Carolina. I'm taking Vandy getting 13.5. South Carolina has a ton of injuries. If Jacksonville State can cover against them, so could Vandy. So I'm taking Vanderbilt getting the 13.5 at South Carolina. Pick number 3 of the Fab 5. I am going to go with Florida International getting 10.5 at Middle Tennessee. I just think that is crazy that they're that big of an underdog. Pick number 4 of the Fab 5, I am going to take West Virginia getting 12.5 at Oklahoma, or am I going to go back to the well? I'm going to go back to the well to Arkansas State, getting 13.5. I thought about West Virginia, but I backed off because of the possibility of the Oklahoma State bounce back spot. So I'm going to dodge that one. Sorry, guys. And then the last pick of the Fab 5, I love going against Texas A&M, but I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to take New Mexico getting a bunch of points at Boise. I love going against Boise this year. But the reason why I'm not taking it, Mississippi State is because I don't trust that team. So I'm going to take New Mexico getting 26.5 at Boise. And then my underdog pick of the week, I'm taking BYU plus 275 to beat Iowa State. Iowa State is a fun team to watch on the right night, but BYU and Provo have to take them. All right, the NFL Fab 5 was a lot harder than I anticipated that it was going to be. I'm not going to take the Germany game. The Patriots and the Colts hurt my feelings last week. I took both their overs. Didn't work out. Pick number 1 in the Fab 5. I'm going to take the Jaguars getting the 3 against the Niners. Everyone and their mother's taking San Francisco. They're just banged up right now. So I like Jacksonville getting the 3. Pick number 2. I'm going to go over 38.5 in the Browns-Ravens game. The Ravens offense has been a machine lately. And I think that the Browns can score a little bit on the Ravens as well. So I really like that over. 23-20, and that's a winner. For that pick. So pick number 3 of the Fab 5. Oh, this is not easy. Spoiler alert, the Monday night game is going to be a pick in the Fab 5. So that's that. So I have to pick 2 more, right? For the Fab 5, yes. So over 38.5 and Browns, Ravens, and then Jaguars getting 3. So pick number 4, or I'm sorry, pick number 3. I don't love it, but I'm going to take the under in Texans-Bengals. Not a lot of the Bengals receivers are healthy right now, and the Bengals defense is really good. So I'm going to take under 46.5 in Texans-Bengals. I think a lot of people will take the over because of Stroud and how good the Texans have looked offensively. Pick number 4 of the Fab 5, I'm going to take the Raiders plus the 1 against the Jets. Zach Wilson is just an abomination to watch. I know the Raiders are probably going to win, but better off just take the +1 because what if the Jets randomly win by 1 because of a missed field goal or a made field goal at the end of the game? And I pick number 5. I'm taking the Broncos getting 7 at Buffalo. I just don't like how the Bills have looked late, and they have shown no indications that they will break out of their funk. So I'm taking Denver getting 7. And then my underdog pick of the week, I'm going with the Jaguars against the 49ers at +142. This is Trevor Lawrence's time to shine, and he's had a couple of signature wins on his resume. And like I said, this game reminds me a lot of when the Chiefs went to Tennessee when the Titans were the 1 seed that year with Tannehill. And the Chiefs were giving 5.5. And I took Tennessee, I believe, on the money line, and I took them in the Fab 5, like I'm doing with the Jaguars here. Because the perception was the Chiefs were so much better, and the Titans were some fluke. Just like here, the 49ers are so much better than the Jaguars, and the Jaguars are taking advantage of a weak division and such. But not so fast, my friends. This line stinks. I'm taking the Jaguars +142 to knock off the 49ers. So there you have it for the show. I'll be back on Monday, recapping everything from the weekend and looking at everything on Monday. Enjoy the weekend, everybody.